Welcome to the distinguished annual event, the Queen Rania Teacher Academy Forum 2023, under the theme Revitalizing the Learning Experience to Reignite Inspiration and Passion. I am Muhammad Najjar, teacher educator in the Academy. We would like to thank you all for attending this forum and welcome you. Established in 2009, the Queen Rania Teacher Academy is a non-profit institution that embraces the vision of Her Majesty Queen Rania Al Abdullah to enhance the quality of education by empowering teachers with necessary skills. QRTA provides innovative and high-quality professional development programs in Jordan and the Arab world. QRTA effectively contributes to serving the educators community, reflecting its commitment to education development and enhancing educators' skills through a range of specialized initiatives. This includes opportunities for continuous learning and advanced training for teachers and school leaders. As part of these initiatives, QRTA hosts an annual forum bringing together distinguished educators from around the world to exchange experiences and stimulate innovation in the field of education. This year, our forum stands out with dedicated workshops led by educators for educators. These workshops aim to enhance learners' knowledge and equip teachers with tools and skills to make the students' learning experience more exciting and engaging. They also aim to provide students with means to explore the world, interact with international issues, and maintain a continuous curiosity for research and questioning. Before the start of today's workshop, we would like to remind you that you can obtain a certificate of attendance. We look forward to your participation in the feedback survey, which will be shared with you before the end of the workshop. Thank you for your cooperation and valuable presence. Please allow me to introduce Ms. Rawan Al-Adawi. She is the PYP ICT teacher and the AI committee lead in the MEF International Schools, Turkey. Dear Rawan, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muhammad. This is a great introduction, actually. So as you can see, everyone, this is the title of the presentation, Enhancing Primary Education for Tomorrow's Innovators. I'm going to brief you a little bit about my experience. I have a bachelor and a master's degree in educational leadership. More than 11 years of teaching experience. I've taught in 4 different countries. Tech literacy, coding skills, computational thinking, all the advanced skills I am very interested in. I'm an ST certified educator, member and trainer in MIE and an Apple teacher. So all of my social media is on this presentation, which I will share a link at the end of this presentation so that you can have access to all the tools in it. I've embedded so many resources in it. And you can keep in touch with me through my email. So the objectives of our lesson, or not lesson, sorry, presentation, is showing the importance of AI and how it actually empowers agency in the class. And it is a great tool for inquiry-based learning, even in lower elementary and upper elementary. So it is not only for grown-ups, it is for primary as well. And you want to prepare the students for future skills and for the present, even before the future. And that is a very valid and important point over here. So the road map of our workshop, we're starting with an introduction, as you can see. And later on, after that introduction, we will be talking about the difference, and it's a great practice. Whenever you see this icon, it's an activity. We will have a little activity differentiating between human intelligence and artificial intelligence. And then, of course, we're going to talk about ChatGPT because a year ago from now, maybe a year and a little months, a couple of months, ChatGPT was a huge booming thing around the world. So we have to talk about it and see how we approached these new concepts in our schools. We're going to talk about how to scale AI integration, and there will be another activity over here as an interaction with you. We will also see tangible evidence of using AI tools in primary, starting from grade 1. And you will find them really interesting, and I think they will give you some ideas for future plans. We will talk about the importance of ethical use of AI, and I'm giving a big part for this with an activity, because this is something that until now is being reinforced, but also it's a point of weakness at some point when it comes to teaching it, the way we teach it, the resources we want to use, how to simplify these concepts for the students, especially in primary. And of course, I did not prepare a full list for AI tools, because I'm sure if you go to LinkedIn right now, you will be able to find a huge amount of resources shared by everyone. I'm gonna give you a glimpse of very useful tools, selective ones that might facilitate your work. And of course, we will wrap it up with questions and everything. So beginning of my presentation, I would like to show you a video. It's a 1-minute video. And then after that, we will have a little discussion. This is the new smartphone introduced by Motorola.
Like the rollable phone concept that we unveiled at Tech World last year, Motorola continues to push the boundaries of flexible hardware. Today, I'm excited to show you how this adaptable device can bend, shape, and mold to your needs. We're exploring the ability to remove the rigid shape restrictions of a device, whether handheld, self-standing, thank you, or worn at a moment's notice for a hands-free experience. And with the support of AI, the user experience of our smartphones can be as adaptable as our form factors. For example, we've developed an AI model that runs locally on the device, which allows a user to bring their personal style to their phone. Users can upload or capture a photo of their outfit to produce one-of-a-kind AI-generated images that match their style. I did this moments ago and created a unique wallpaper based on my look. I also asked some of my colleagues to share photos of their outfits. Each attempt will give users a unique choice for a personalized flair. We understand the importance of personalization for our users, and this is a fun and simple way to express yourself through your phone.
So, after watching this video, you would notice that AI is already there, and this is some sort of AI creation adapting to your outfit, and it is going to be in our kids' hand later on. I have kids who already know what is an AI assistant, what is Alexa, what is Siri. 2 years ago, it was one of the topics in my lessons in ICT. I used to introduce what is an AI assistant, what is Siri, what is Google Assistant, and so on. But now they're fluent, they're digitally native, they know it already. I don't need to make a lesson for it. And seeing this video shows that we cannot just close our eyes and pretend that this is not happening around us as teachers, as educators. We need to bring it up to our lessons. We need to adapt our lessons to show the advancements in technology and to show the right pathway for our students. So if I am reflecting about technology nowadays, I am a millennial, so I come from Generation Y. And my generation learned about Apple phones and Google and so many technologies. But I am right now teaching 2 generations, and I think I'm about to be teaching 3 generations. Generation Z, which is the I generation, which is already was born with technology around them and they got used to it. You have the digital natives, in primary. And these kids are already getting used to so many tools. But now we are heading towards a change of a generation. We are heading towards Generation Beta, which starts from 2025. And I think studies should be updated because Generation Beta has already started. It started ever since generative AI tools were released for the whole world to try them. So we are heading towards the artificials, or those who are getting used to humanoids, transhumanism, which means the blending between machines and humans. So it is very interesting to know like where we are heading, and that is why it is very important to start restructuring the whole educational system. So definitely a year ago, there was somehow of an AI paranoia about artificial intelligence. At first, ChatGPT was released. In 5 days, it reached 1 million users. And people started questioning, is it going to replace me at work, for example? Then suddenly, all universities, all schools, or most of them, let's say, have started blocking ChatGPT. But of course, there are so many other tools. And before ChatGPT, so many AI tools have been in place. Then people started, like, you could see some fear. Bing is threatening us. Of course, it's a large language model. It's learning from the information we're giving it. So the output is based on your input. And in one mistake by one of the conversational AI tools, Bard by Google, Google lost $100 billion in their stocks in the market, just with one mistake in the information. And that was announced on LinkedIn. So people are starting to get paranoid, afraid of this technology. But then we noticed all of these changes throughout the year. Then suddenly people started seeing the good light of this technology, starting to see, oh, okay, it's redirecting me to find the knowledge. And then I can double check it. I can cross check with Google later on and see, okay, it's giving me ideas. Then some teachers started posting, oh, it's helping me as a study buddy to learn and improve my skills. And then on New York Times, you would see that they started telling schools, stop banning ChatGPT. And there were huge campaigns about this. Then in other countries like Vietnam and Singapore, they started talking about the importance of ChatGPT and actually embedding it in the schools, in the educational sector. And then in the UAE, which was one of the first companies, countries actually, to make a deal about collaborating with OpenAI or any other organization to develop a curriculum that teaches about AI and what AI stands for. So yes, people got afraid of it, but this is reality. We need to adapt. So if we're thinking about what AI and where it categorizes, it is still under the umbrella of computer science. But if you look on the right, it tackles so many theories and so many practices. And we have to understand the fundamentals of AI. We need to understand how to approach it. And this is a huge wave of training and development that we need to make, not only for educators, but also for our students to train them on using them, and as well for all the stakeholders in an institution. So from here, before we used to think about frameworks such as learning technology, about technology, and through technology. I come from an IB school. In PYP, we think about this framework when we're talking about technology integration. But now it's a whole new science we're introducing. Why not start thinking about learning AI, the process of it, how it works, learning about it, how did it evolve, and what is being introduced in the new technologies, and learning through AI, how is it improving and helping personalize the educational system for us. So from here, I would like that you scan the QR code. Everyone, grab your phones, scan the QR code, and answer this survey. It's a very easy survey on Google Forms, and we're going to have a look at their answers together. So please take a moment to answer the survey. I will drop the link in the chat too. The survey is completely anonymous, so don't worry about this. We will have a look at the data analysis or at the analytics over here. I will keep refreshing it to see the live answers. I sent the link in the chat. So we're looking at the summary of his answers, and you could see the graph already developing over here. Hey, so I must share that this practice, I did it during a PD training that I took with IBM in collaboration with ST. So there are so many nice courses around us that we could use, and they are completely free about AI. And this helps you differentiate between both intelligences. That's great. So this is showing you the average of points on this. And over here, we're looking at each question, the right answers that we received in each. Okay. You can continue playing this, filling out the survey. I'm going to move on to the answers of this so that we unpack some concepts over here. So looking at the correct answers of the survey, this is the chart that represents the final answers. Of course, I wrote down where I retrieved this from. So you could see that artificial intelligence is mainly about the big tasks, like large language. It's a large language model, so it's about large data analysis or actually getting instant data analysis, instant computations for us. It helps us analyze huge amounts of answers for a survey, for example, and so on. Humans, the beauty of humans is that we learn not from a lot of set of data, but from very few examples. We can learn a lesson from them so that we don't make the mistakes all over again. We have common sense, we understand meanings, whereas AI, for example, needs experience in order to improve. And there are so many commonalities. So have a look at this. All right. Moving on from here, so teaching and learning with ChatGPT. All right. beginning of like back in Christmas last year, when ChatGPT was introduced, we started using it and we had to subscribe for ChatGPT 4 so that we see all the functionalities in this platform. So we started in using prompts and exploring how prompts work. So for example, you could ask it prepare a presentation, or how can I install Red Alert 2? One of my friends is in this workshop attending, and he understands what I mean about this. So Red Alert 2 is one of the very old games, and I wanted to install it on MacBook, and I got a solution from ChatGPT. Give me ideas for the presentation about something, and what are the best websites? Or probably rewrite a description for me about something. So the prompts and learning how to write them is actually a skill as well. So as a teacher, you want to start with a lesson plan, for example. You can ask ChatGPT about the lesson plan and how to get it, and then you can ask him to help you prepare a rubric. And then probably within the same chat, you can ask him for adding an assessment, for example, like a quiz or so, and you can just adjust the manner the quiz comes, or the type of questions you want to include in that quiz. You can modify points in it, and all along you can go back and forth and regenerate again and again until you refine your instructions. So the misconception about ChatGPT before was that people did not realize that it's a large language model and that it's not a search engine. It is more than that. You have to continue the conversation with it to get better results every time, and like on and on. So it is a continuous process working with ChatGPT. The more you give it prompts, the more you structure them, the more you're going to get better results. So to train the teachers on how to use such large language models, or the concept of conversational AI tools. So I used this chart, which was also inspired by one of the workshops I attended in a university. So first, there is teaching and learning activity. You think about this certain activity, and then you want to describe the activity without ChatGPT. So these are purely your ideas. So this is one of the practices you could do at home, actually, all by yourself as an educator, or you could do it with your team and reflect about it. And then try it with ChatGPT and look at the outcomes that you received and write your comments. The comments that I received from the teachers in my team were, okay, he needed specific details in order to accurately respond to my stimulus, she called it. Is good and can modify as you want. Another teacher said, it gave me 15 different ways. Because instantly, as humans, we cannot think of 15 different ways of doing a lesson, but ChatGPT can help you generate ideas. So it's kind of extending your thinking, your creativity when you're planning your lesson at some point. Communication is key. He gave the teacher a very long and detailed instruction. So she had, or they needed to rewrite by asking him to simplify. It assumed it's a middle school level, so they needed to specify what grade level. So your prompt and how we use it, it is very important. And one of the teachers said it was very helpful and specific, and so on. So creating a rubric with ChatGPT, for example, this is one of the examples. Let's say you gave him learning goals. You can ask him, for example, first to write a description, make a brief paragraph about this experience, and then you create a rubric. Okay, you give it specific instructions for a grade level, make it shorter. So this is different prompts, but actually, if you combine all of these in one prompt, that is the good skill that you can do at the end. And then you get a rubric. ChatGPT can do something like this for you. It can give you a rubric like a table. You could also change the titles of the columns that can, in a way that it matches with your learning management system. Like in my school, we don't use excellent, we use excelling, for example. So I can tell it to use excelling instead of this, instead of good, proficient. And he actually generates accordingly. Not only this, he gives you the way to give feedback. He gives you different options and you can specify for him. So if you don't have access to ChatGPT, and it was actually blocked at some point in in our network, for example, you could actually go, or you don't have subscriptions for ChatGPT 4, you can go to other platforms. Po.com is one of my best actually, and my kids interact with it too. So Po.com allows you to upload a CSV file for a questionnaire, like the Google form I just shared with you. And I can ask him to give me the trends. So my prompt says, give me the trends, and then show me a table with percentages. So these are the trends for each question from my survey. And then he made tables for me with percentages of like a data analysis. This could have been taken from me a quiet amount of time, but using this tool, I can move forward in my work and use this data to start with the analysis. So it saved me some time a little bit, and this is very helpful at some point. So there are so many studies being published recently. This is a recent study in March about the student engagement and comprehension and performance when using ChatGPT in the class. So it started with two groups. You have control and experimental group. They tracked their performance in the class, and the results showed that there is an improvement in the experimental group using ChatGPT, improvement in their engagement and test scores. And there was deeper understanding of the material that have been taught. So the conclusion in this study showed that ChatGPT is not something to be afraid of, but more like it's an aid. It helped the students enhance their engagement. But of course, they recommended more research to happen so that we look at the implications of this for the future. Okay. How can we be sure the results are correct and accurate? I just saw this question in the chat from Niraz. Do you mean the results from Po.com or from the research study?
I mean, the results that from the ChatGPT or the Po you showed. I mean, you're a teacher, you're getting data, you're getting tables. How
Yes.
can you make sure there's no error?
Oh, definitely. So definitely you need to keep cross-checking between your results. So recently I actually worked on data analysis for surveys that I ran in my school. And definitely when I used Po.com or ChatGPT 4, for example, to analyze the results for me, that helped me when I had qualitative data, not quantitative. The quantitative data, I used it in an Excel sheet and I cross-checked with ChatGPT to see the commonalities. And it was accurate at some point. So cross-checking is very important. For qualitative data, you need to screen your data and read it, read most of it at least to see the trends. And then you can cross-check. Like you cannot rely 100% on something without looking at your data too. So, but it saves you time. So for repeated trends, it's gonna save you time making the table for you, you know? So definitely cross-checking is important. But of course, I'm not telling you to go use it for your dissertation. I'm not telling you to go use it for a research that you're submitting in your university. But this is helping me analyze data for a survey, to study my audience when I want to introduce a topic as a coach, as a technology coach, for example, or to work on certain policy in my school. So the way we use it and when and where is very important in that sense. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So ChatGPT was blocked, as I told you. So we used po.com, and the kids were inquiring into Mr. Christopher Columbus. So we used different prompts, and you can read them. So they were learning what is a prompt and how to write it. So we experimented with po.com. It's an assistant AI chatbot. And they asked him to do different things for them in the same conversation. So they were learning that you need to have a continuous conversation with ChatGPT or with the AI assistant on on po.com. And because po.com has ChatGPT in it and other AI bots. So they learned that they need to have a continuous conversation and to adjust and be specific in your prompt. That was the practice over here. And they used 9 prompts in this. And then at the end, the 9th prompt was about where did you get this information from? They were fascinated about the results. But then when we asked him, where did you get this information? He was not able to provide a link. I know that now ChatGPT 4 can provide you a link, but also you need to cross-check on Google to see if it's correct. May I please ask that you mute your microphones? Sorry. Okay. So the answer that we got from the bot was that my data is limited until September 21, 2020. Or 2021, something like that. So they learned that the data is limited based on the update of the chatbot, unless it's connected to the internet. And they learned that I cannot just rely on this. I need to go and actually search to find the actual resource of this data. So that was the whole experience in one session. That was last year. So from that, we started thinking teaching has a new form now. Teachers are no longer owning the information. We could use such tools to actually brainstorm ideas, empower the students in the class. And they are powerful tools that can help the students generate or understand things. But the one that resonates for me the most, and these are quotes from other people, many people, is that knowing the words that you use and how and that we actually need to teach how to do that. This is a skill, and this is a very important part here, because you want to get to the point where you understand their output and why did you get that, so based on your input. So scaling AI, we all know the Bloom's digital taxonomy, which was since 2001. And there are resources that I added over here. You could check them out later on. And we all know that there is something called World Economic Forum. And there are top skills that we're preparing the students for them to be in the business world. So if you're scaling your technology integration, at the beginning, we all learned about the TPAC, what TPAC represents as technology integration, the blending between knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and content knowledge, and technological knowledge. So the blending of these. SAMR model since 2006 as well. In my school's policy, we use the SAMR model, for example. And I really rely on this. I adopt it. There are recent matrices as well, matrices like PICRAT, which shows you, for example, where you are in your activity. So you ask 2 questions, and based on the 2 questions, you can check where you are. Is it an interactive activity that replaces something, or does it transform, for example? So where you are, the peak is the best here. And recently, in January 2023, there's a new framework that was introduced, the SETI, which talks about the educator circle, then the microsystem in the school, and grows and grows and grows, and how we prepare our teams for it. So it includes training, tech support, and so on. We're growing the circle of technology integration. So as a checkpoint, I would like you please to scan the QR and answer the questions over here and this, and I'm going to share with you the link too. So let's have a look at your technology integration. I think, I hope you received the link. Okay, I'm going to open the results. We're gonna have instant results over here. All right. So what framework do you currently use to measure technology integration? Let's have a look. Looks in the form of quiz for some reason. All right. So, sorry, it looks like a quiz. No, don't worry about the X. Just the highest, most of us use Bloom's taxonomy. So this is great. Okay, may I ask the people who used other, there are 14 people who answered other. May I ask you please to write in the chat, what are the other frameworks that you are using so that we get to know them? Thank you so much. And my next question is the following. What are the AI tools that you mostly use? ChatGPT is speaking for the moment. Bard, which is also a conversational AI tool. Magic School, very interesting to see that. Poe. I've seen some frameworks over here. Canva as mentioned, very good. Bing, conversational AI as well. Synthesia, mind map. All right. All right, thank you for your input, everyone. So I'm going to move on to some of the real examples, tangible examples about using AI tools. Thank you for your answers, everyone. So this is an inquiry-based learning approach. We use it in primary years program and PYP and the IB program. So this is grade 1. We're learning about holograms. And this was in connection with the 5 senses. They were learning what are the senses that we use, the 5 senses. So at first, they created their own drawings of a character. We were specific about it, and they made them up using Meta AI. So this is animated drawings by Meta AI. So we used that to animate their drawings. And you could see that the GIF right here is showing you exactly how you can use the dance, the move, and so on, and how to animate it. Now, at a later stage, we wanted not only to see the video animated for our drawing, but we wanted to actually see it as a hologram. So what we did is that we used Canva to create hologram videos or holographic videos. On Canva, and that's in grade 1, on Canva, they learned that they can import these videos that we made, add them to Canva, remove the background, so use the background remover, and make 4 copies of it to rotate it. And we created our videos for the hologram. In the next lesson, we collaborated with the art teacher to cut out templates for a visualizer. And after that, we used the iPads to play the video, and they were able to see their drawings and the visualizer standing in front of them. It was an amazing experience for the kids, and they were celebrating the unit. So their parents were here too, and it was great to see the kids talking about such technology like holograms and so on. So of course, we reflected on the 5 senses, or the senses that we used, which most of them are the hands and the eyes, and the whole journey, how we made it happen. This is one of the inquiry lessons, and it took a whole unit to finish it, of course. In another example, exploring the concepts of AI and machine learning. So for example, AI for Oceans is one of the activities you find on code.org. And this is a hyperlink here. When I share the presentation with you, you can get access to everything. So in this, they were talking with their teachers about how to preserve natural resources. And this is connected to the SDGs. So AI for Oceans teaches the kids that they can train a robot to clean the ocean by recognizing if there's a fish or not a fish or waste, for example. So they started training the robots by telling it, okay, fish, not fish, and then when they press continue. There's a counter here. Eventually, and this is analytical skills we're looking at, they look at the results that they have, and they see that, for example, there are mistakes. Oh, my robot made a mistake. Why? Because I need to train him more. So they start thinking, should I train him more? Oh, yes, because I have so many mistakes. Or should I continue? So they look at that, and then they train him more to get a higher number. And eventually they realize that if you train him for like 100 times, he's gonna make 1 mistake. He's always gonna make a mistake if you did not train him on something. And some of them would go crazy and start training it 400 times and so on. So it's a whole series of practices that you can do with them. Eventually, and this is super cool over here, we're talking grade 3 and 5, guys, 3, 4, 5. You end up in a practice where you are choosing the behavior or the attitude. So you want to train the robot on detecting what wild represents or what awesome represents. And then based on that, you start training the robot if this fish is wild or not wild. From here, we start thinking about or start realizing that, okay, this robot is learning based on my opinion. What my opinion thinks about what makes me afraid of something. What makes me think about a fish that looks wild or that doesn't look wild. So here, the introduction of the concept bias is very important. And you start thinking that AI machines can be biased. So exactly. So looking at the fish and comparing them and seeing which one wild, which one is not, that can create a new conversation in your class. So on code.org, there are so many resources that you can embed in your lessons, not necessarily in computer science class. You could teach about new technology, exploration, like AI and machine learning. This is a unit for grades 6 to 12. I did it with my grade 5 students. I did part of it. So I choose what lessons I want to test with the children. AI for Oceans, I did it even with grade 2, I did it. How AI works, I did part of it too. There are lesson plans, there are resources like worksheets, there are presentations over there. You can check them out, they're completely free. Another example in grade 4. We're inquiring into organizational logos. They were looking at problems in real life world, real life problems, and we want to try solutions for them. So there are organizations that help solve these problems. At first, to start with how to make a logo and thinking about a logo, we wanted to recreate a logo for a company. We chose Nike, for example, and we wrote the slogan. So they're learning what a logo has as a name, and it might have a slogan, and they're exploring the AI tool at the same time. So Logo AI, they used it and they chose the industry. What industry does this logo represent? In which industry? You're learning about the styles. What should be the style of this logo? Is it futuristic, modern, or is it both? And then you're thinking about the colors palette. What colors you want to use in that logo? And then generating this logo, again, you get a new experience for Nike, for example, new approach to that. Okay. Do you mind sharing more about this, a PDF with the steps or the PowerPoint, please? Yes, Mace, I saw your comment and I will be sharing a link of all of this presentation, which includes all the resources in it, okay? At the end of the workshop, okay? So after this, generating using AI tools, we started comparing on Padlet, normal application, comparing logos, how they evolve from before and after, okay? So we looked at Twitter, how it became X. We looked at Gucci. We looked at Desigual, which is a clothes store. And why did they use reversed writing? Xbox. And they started commenting and saying, like, agreeing or disagreeing, and why is it catchy? Why is it not catchy? Why is it elegant, not elegant, and so on. Then we had to recreate logos. So we started getting a picture from the internet and then using Google Drawings, they recreated it using the tools there. They're exploring the digital tools of how to do something from scratch. And not to copy it actually, but to redesign it. Then after that, using Canva and the magic world in Canva, there is generation of images. So here, and this is, we're talking about grade 4, they don't know what is a prompt yet. So they're learning how to write the prompt to get inspiration about a logo. So we wrote a prompt and we generated an image. Then we started thinking about, okay, what should I think about when I'm designing the logo? So let's say the hobby, the slogan, what I want to include in it, and the colors. Then you could see the results from my students. So this is the generated image by Canva, and this is the redesigned logo using elements in Canva. Same here, same here. So these are the AI images and these are their work. So this is one of the inquiry into logos. And guess what? We're not done. And the next one, so as a next step, what we did is that we looked at the design cycle. Okay, it's about time to design a logo that represents an organization I want. And let's do it the right way. So we're following a cycle. We started answering to questions over here, and this is on their Toddle LMS. So each of them had a copy for themselves. And they completed the table with the color, word or phrase you want to include, and the symbol. And then they're building prototypes. I gave them a choice board based on the applications that we used. Also, this is clickable. You click on it, you get a template on Canva for it. You can adjust it. So these are AI. So this is generation with AI, logo.ai, Adobe. It has its own AI tools and also Canva and other tools. Eventually, we ended up with a prototype such as the first design using basic tools, no AI, then getting inspired with AI tools. And then, okay, that child understood that, okay, I want to blend or maybe make a mix between the drawing and the text. And this is his final result using on Canva without the AI tools, just elements over there, putting them together to end up with this solution. So this is one of the examples over there. Yes, Suzanne, I understand. A lot of applications need practice. So collaboration is essential when you're So I was preparing the kids to generate logos for an NGO that they are working on with the homeroom teacher. So we collaborated together to make their final result. And this is the NGO title that this group had. It was a pair work. How many sessions? All of it is a process. It's a process of a unit. So we're talking about 4+ sessions. Okay? Every week, I have them twice a week. So grade 5, let's show you the cool stuff. And I think I'm running out of time. So we have another activity as well. I'm going to try to make it fast. In grade 5, we were learning about the prompts with generative AI. And we used the magic tools, which were recently released, like, let's say 4 months ago or 3 months ago, not more. And we directly started experimenting them. It was a great chance. They had an exploration unit. And okay, let's start. So they learned what is a prompt, how to generate images, and actually not only writing the prompt, but choosing the style you want to use. And I insisted on the students to write the name of their style and to always include the prompt, because I wanted eventually to talk about citations. So this is one of the students' work, another one, and another one. These are artifacts from grade 5 students. So they use a prompt, they ended up with an image, choosing a specific style. Then, using the AI tools in Canva as well, you could actually use tools to change images. So using the background remover, which we already talked about, they removed something and they added an interactive background. We've got so many samples over here, before and after. This is their work, not mine. Next, we had images over here. And this, of course, culminated into an exhibition that was really nice for the parents to see. Before, and they created images after. Using AI tools, they extended images, they expanded them, and using the grab tools these are AI tools. The grab tools in Canva, they were able to make multiple copies of that element in the image. And this is an artwork. We completely redefined the arts work for the students. This is digital arts for me. And they learned how to erase. We're still refining that skill, how to erase elements and not to make it very, very fake. Like you want to do it in a nicer way. So definitely redefinition happened in that sense. If you're looking at a summer model, for example. Thank you for the feedback, Suzanne. Thank you, Shamsa. Thank you everyone for your feedback. And I want to tell you, I think it's been less than a month now, videos have been released. So now on Canva, you can write a prompt, press videos, write a prompt, and generate a short video about your prompt. So please, I urge you to try them out. So ethical use of AI tools. I'm going to move on with my point. How can we incorporate AI with different subjects for year 1? Good point. So when I showed you the animated drawings, and that depends on the situation and the inquiry that you're choosing. So you need to discern what tool I want to use to serve my goal. This is the most important part you want to think about, I think. So it's not about, oh, I want to use this tool and I want to force it on this unit. No, it's about the concept I am introducing and how can I match it with the right AI tool. That's what you want to talk about. Okay. Moving on to ethical use of AI tools. We hear about AI detectors a lot, and so many of them like Turnitin. But we know that AI detectors are not that efficient actually, and Turnitin is trying to find a solution that is completely accurate about detecting AI, like generated content and writing essays, for example. But I suggest that if we start from primary, teaching the students with a certain code about using these kind of technologies and actually when to use them and how to use them in a proper way, then we prepare the kids to see the ethical ways of using those technology, using AI. So this is one of the really nice posters that you can actually use with your students in ChatGPT. Like, okay, we're using ChatGPT, how are we going to use it for that kind of discussion or debate in the class or for a project? So there are many lessons on common sense education for grade 2, grade 4. Let's give credit, creators' rights and responsibilities. And I think it's essential. There are many links that I embedded right here that you can look at. And we all know that many platforms nowadays are posting policies about using AI. So it is essential to start raising awareness about how to use these technologies and how to detect what is fake and not fake and so on. Even the IB said that they will not ban ChatGPT, but also they encourage people to start using, giving credit to the software and the body of the text if they're going to use it, but not for a final assessment in projects, for example. And they gave examples in the latest, this is the latest publication from them in October it was published. They gave examples of how to cite AI or generative AI content. So connecting to this, back to the experience with grade 5, they created those images on Canva. We made sure that eventually their writing, so we did this practice without technology, just writing the prompt that they used, the application, and if they chose a style or they did not, and then when did they retrieve that information from Canva. This was one of the practices in grade 5, believe it or not. And not only this, in a Padlet conversation, I asked the kids to write rules about what if I'm not using Canva, I'm using a different application. What should I do to cite my information? So they made a list of things that they need to follow to cite their information. So from here, if you noticed, all of my images in the presentation included citations of what I used to produce them. They're all generated by AI. So I put for you the tool and the prompt. What I failed to put is actually the date when I retrieved it. And this is me reflecting on it. So here we go. So teaching benefits of AI should be balanced with the risks of AI. And these are resources that I prepared for the kids to create discussions in the class about when is it beneficial, when we have risks. And in the middle, I put deepfakes. So these are on this QR code. If you scan it, it's ThingLink. So if you scan this QR code, and I'm going to share the link with you. These are interactive presentations on ThingLink to see if you press on these buttons, you see different resources. So from here, I started talking with the students about bias. So we played a game for hiring. and how hiring is sometimes biased as well based on the data that you give for the application. This is a company using AI tools, and they were learning data sets, how they can be biased, and why blue employees are being hired while orange employees were not being hired. Is it based on color? Is it based on other things? So, and then we used a scavenger hunt online for it. So I'm going to play a little game with you. This is one of the other activities for what is real and what is fake when we're using social media. In the chat, I want you to tell me if it's left or right, real picture or fake. Like, which one is the real picture? Can you write me in the chat left or right? This is one of the provocations you can make with the students. All right, I'm seeing so many, there's a huge miss, but I'm seeing so many left. So I'm gonna press on the left. You are correct. So if you play it again, this is a great provocation for the students to think about what we see on social media is actually not correct. What about the next one? Which is real, left or right? All right, I'm seeing so many left. Good job. And then when I ask the students to play this game many times, I press on and say, go to learn, and then the learn part is going to tell you how to spot them. You could look at the water splotches, you could look at the background, the eyeglasses, asymmetries, and so on. The hair, so many things, the teeth. This is one example. Another example. The video shows you what is fake and what is not fake, okay? So let's have a little amount of time watching this. I hope you're able to hear.
Some people used to mock former President George W. Bush, saying that he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. If you need proof, they could point to that picture of him holding a children's book upside down. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Well, actually, you can. And someone did. Here's the real photo. And this kind of trickery didn't start with Photoshop. Phony photos and doctored videos have been around for a long time. Check out this iconic image of Lincoln from the 1860s. Looks heroic, huh? Well, it's really only part Lincoln. His head, to be exact. The body belongs to John C. Calhoun, who, fun fact, was a big-time racist and slavery proponent. This print wasn't outed as fake for almost a century. And today, we have so-called deep fakes. Deep fakes are videos that have been manipulated using fancy AI technology.
So, deep fakes is a huge, big topic to talk about, what fake information is online and what it represents. So another game that you can play with the kids about it is on this website as well, Detect Fakes. This page, so I'm gonna press on it to try. So it shows you, for example, content, some sort of content. For example, the text, and you read it, and you start thinking, is it fake or not fake? If it's fake, you press on fake, for example, and if you're very confident, you put this. And then you press submit, let's say. So it tells you if it's real or not real. So, for example, let's go to a next one. You have another box here. Can you guys try to screen it quickly and give me an answer in the chat if it's real or fake? No, can you read it and share the screen, please? Okay, I heard real many times, so I'm gonna put real. Okay, I'm gonna put confident, fairly confident. He did not say that. So this is one of the really nice tools that you could use with the kids. There are other content like videos, and they learn that sometimes when you're looking at the video.
Do we need a pro-growth progressive tax code that treats workers as job creators as well, not just investors? that gets rid of unprotected loopholes like stepped-up basis. And it raises enough revenue to make sure that the Social Security and Medicare can stay, still needs adjustments, but can stay, and pay for the things we all acknowledge will grow the country.
Fake or not
Do-
fake? Can you write in the chat, please? Fake or real? Fake. Okay. I'm gonna put fake. I'm gonna put fairly confident. It's real. He said that. So how to detect these things is also another skill. So I'm gonna move on in my presentation so that I don't waste the time. So moving on in this, I'm gonna show you one of the practices I did with the kids. So this was on Google Slides. Each of them had their own copy. So they watched a video to learn how to detect, and this video is showing them 4 different things, how to detect deep fakes, and then they watched the video to detect fake news. These are their answers over here. Then they played quizzes about these videos to identify the difference between fake news and deep fakes. So it is very important to raise awareness about such technologies now around us. So I saw a couple of questions in the chat. If you don't mind, can you send the PowerPoint so I can rewatch it? Definitely at the end of this session, I am going to send you the link of my presentation, okay? Thank you guys for your questions. And if you have any question, please drop it for me and I will try to answer it as much as I can. So some of the AI tools that I usually use are Magic School. It helps with generating ideas for lesson plans. Magic Studio in Canva, definitely. It's an amazing tool to increase the agency of your students, their creativity, and extending what they can come up with as an output, as a product. Sorry, Grammarly has AI tools and generative AI in it now. Killbot, many of you might use it. ChitChat, which is an extension in Google Chrome, and it actually searches with you for the content. If you're searching on Google, you directly see the results on ChitChat. It's connected to ChatGPT. And Quizzes AI, you throw in it the video on YouTube, and then it generates a whole quiz for you. And po.com, of course.
Rawan, you are muted. Rawan, you are muted.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Yes. Yes, you were muted. It's okay now.
Was it for long or now?
Just seconds.
For a short
Just
time.
seconds.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Short.
So I was just
Minute.
saying there is light at the end of AI tunnel, and you guys need to start taking PD courses, all of us as educators, because it is very important for us to keep up with this technology because it's there. Kids are spending time on TikTok right now, looking at fake content, at deep fakes. We need to expose them to how to detect this information, how to identify this sort of technology in a certain content that I am accessing. So it is very important. And I think this is it for me. Please answer the survey for QRTA. I am very grateful for this conference. And I'm going to send you the link. Okay, that's it for me.
Yes, Rawan, thank you very much. In conclusion of this special workshop at the Queen Rania Academy Forum for Teacher Training 2023, we would like to express our deep thanks for our presenter and to all of you for your effective and inspiring participation. We hope that this meeting has added value to your ideas and educational skills. We remind you that you will receive your certificate of attendance by email, and we urge you to fill out the feedback survey which will help us improve and develop our future experiences.
Mr. Mohammed, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you, but the chat is disabled.
Yes, now it's...
I need to send them the link as I promised.
Okay.
Can I?
Try to send it to me, and I will send it to the admin, inshallah.
Oh, okay. So we're not sharing. Okay, we're not sharing the link.
Yes, share it with me with WhatsApp, and we'll share it with the group, inshallah.
Sure, no problem.
So
Okay.
thank you, Rawan, again, and
Thank
we
you.
look forward to seeing you at your QRT's future events. Thank you very much, and we'll share with you, inshallah, the link for the presentation.
Yes, if you guys need to contact me, this is my email address and this is my website. Okay?
Can I ask a quick question, please, before you
Yes,
disappear?
sure.
What about the language of instruction? You use mainly English. Just because I'm teaching Arabic, can we do something similar in Arabic, or it needs to be English, like the language of instruction? Because the aim is to encourage them to use Arabic and Fusha Arabic as well. Any ideas on that?
From that, yani, you have a really valid question, actually. The nature of my work is teaching in English, actually. So that's why my main language is English. But for Arabic content, you're gonna have to adapt these technologies. You will use them. Sometimes they're not translated to English. So you have to Arabic, sorry. So you have to use them in English and to adapt what content you're receiving to Arabic.
Yes, interesting.
هحكي بالعربي.
If I want to
هحكي
teach them
بالعربي.
something, طيب اتفضلي.
يس انت بس عم تعلمي لغة عربية، بس الأولاد فيهم يفتحوا كانفا مثلا، بدهم يكتبوا البرومبت بالانجلش، لانه انا حتى ماني مأكدة انه في عربي بكانفا. سو بدهم يكتبوا البرومبت بالانجلش او probably يعملوا لها ترانسليت، يكتبوها بالعربي ويعملوا لها ترانسليت، يطلعوا الاوتبوت ويستعملوا، وبعدين تعملي referencing. For example, this is one example. Okay?
تمام.
I hope
شكرا.
I answered it.
So, Rawan, I have shared the link if you want to share it again, but I have shared it in the chat box.
Yes,
The one I have.
I shared the link. I saw that you opened it. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed. You're kind, really kind.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, sure.
In regard to standards, how much do you think should be allocated to this? Because it is time consuming. And what are really the important learning outcomes that student will get out of using all of this, bearing in mind that it is time consuming?
I really love your question. Look, I have been into different schools and I have been developing the ICT curriculum for like 8 years now, you know? Every year I really have to update my scope and sequence and to write new learning goals because I'm adapting to technology advancements. But all of them categorize for me. All of them categorize under international standards for me. I adopt two, actually. I adopt SISTA, which is, so SISTA is, if I look it up, I'm still sharing my screen, right?
Yes.
So SISTA is the computer science over here, this website. So it is the Computer Science Teachers Association, and I adopt ISTE. So ISTE is the International Society for Technology in Education. These two give you frameworks of what you can use as general standards, and then all the learning goals that you make under them can be their umbrella, you know? You could have an umbrella with these general standards and use specific learning goals under them based on what you're using. I hope I answered your question.
Beautifully, thank you.
Most welcome. I really recommend looking up ST standards because the ST standards, if you're not familiar with it, I hope I'm not taking extra time. We have 4 minutes, right?
Yes, just 4 minutes before we end this session.
Yes, if you're seeing my screen, ST standards over here give you very international standards for all of the people, for students, how they're using technology, and for educators. So if you press on it, for example, you would find the standards. They are broken apart into videos and the main standard over here, for example, under this, and they're coded. So on Toddle, for example, when I'm using a learning platform, we use Toddle in my school, I actually added those standards on Toddle so that I align my practice to them. Because I want to know, where am I? Am I really preparing the kids for the right and for technology? So you align your practice to such standards. This is what I mean.
ممكن سؤال سريع.
Yes.
انت بتعلميهم كمان كيف يستخدموا كانفا مثلا او البرنامج or you leave it to them لحتى يشوفوا هن يكتشفوا ويجربوا، لانه حتى انك تعلميهم كيفية استخدام برنامج معين. يعني انت كتيتشر اوف اي سي تي مثلا اوكي معروف، بس اذا عم نستخدم الاي اي بتدريس مثلا languages، فهي حيكون اكسترا لود تعلميهم، تعلمي الطالب كيف يستخدم البرنامج او البلاتفورم، صح؟
Yes, you are right. أول شيء, I want to tell you something. First, the kids are much faster than educators exploring the technology. So I urge you to first allow the space for them to explore and to teach each other, and then you build on that. This is my strategy in all the grade levels. I allow space to explore because sometimes they explore things that I did not notice. And then you build on this based on the plan that you have in mind. You plan accordingly as well.
شكرا.
Thank you everyone for your comments. I'm really grateful, and
Thank you very much
thank
for
you
attending.
everyone for attending my session. Mr. Muhammad, I cannot be more thankful. Thank you so
Yes,
much for your
thank
help.
you for your interesting session. And we
Thank
need to end the session now because we have other rooms to be open. Thank you very much, and see you in our sessions. We still have more sessions till 6 o'clock this evening. Thank you very
All
much.
right. Thank you, everyone.